Hey guys, in this video we're going to learn how to integrate OpenSea NFT Marketplace into your dApps with Moralis, where your user will be able to freely buy and sell their NFTs on Ethereum. And here I have the end result, a really simple NFT Marketplace dApp that we're going to develop further to showcase how to get NFT asset data, get NFT order data, and of course, because this is a NFT Marketplace, we'll be able to create a buy and sell order for the NFT of our own choosing. And to demonstrate really quickly what are the features that we're going to implement for this dApp in the end, here I'm going to test uh, to create a really quick buy order for an NFT that I chose here, which is a really simple CryptoKitties. And so yeah, let's just do it. Let's click it. And a MetaMask prompt should appear soon. There you go. And we should just sign this really quickly. Sign it. And boom, the buy order should be created successfully. So let's get back to the OpenSea Testnet website here. And as you can see in the beginning, the buy order, there's only one buy order, which is not created by my address. And hopefully once we refresh this page, we'll be able to see that. And it's gonna be loading for a while here. Oops. Seems like it's gonna be loading a bit, but don't worry guys. So there you go. As you can see, there's a second buy order here, which is created by me. And that's basically the result that we want to achieve from developing this dApp, one of the functionality of it. And this is basically possible with just a few lines of code. And believe it or not, this is possible because of the Moralis plugin, where you'll be able to include a bunch of integration into your dApps. And here you have a bunch of options such as the fiat on ramp. And then if you want to build DAXs, you can use the 1-inch plugin. And in this tutorial, we'll be using the OpenSea plugin to build our NFT marketplace really quickly with just a few lines of code. So without further ado, let's start the tutorial. So before we jump into the development process, first let's set up the backend infrastructure for our dApp, and we can do that very easily with Moralis in just a few clicks. So first, create your free Moralis admin account, and once you log in, you'll be redirected into this dashboard. And once you are in the dashboard, let's create a new testnet server. So here, just create a new server, click the testnet server, and then here we can name our Moralis instance as OpenSea test server, and then select the region which is closest to you. And after so, let's select the chain, which is like in this case for OpenSea testnet that we want to test in, it's gonna be existing inside the Rinkeby test network. So let's choose the Rinkeby one, and then just add instant. Just that simple. But I already have it here, so I don't need to do that. For you who setting it up for the first time, probably it's gonna take a few minutes. Once the server is set up, we can install the plugin here. Just click the plugins button and go to the plugin store. And in this page, there will be a bunch of plugins that Moralis offer out of the box, which you can include in your dApp very easily in just a few lines of code, such as fiat on ramper, 1-inch Moralis plugin in the case you want to add DAXs into your dApps. And in our case, we're going to use the OpenSea. So just click this, and then we can just install the plugin. where it will redirect us back to the Moralis admin page to finish the installation process. So here, let us choose our server that we just set up to install the OpenSea plugin. So then click confirm, and then here on the last tab, we need to set up the Ethereum mainnet speedy node and also the Rinkeby speedy node. So to do that, let's just go back really quickly to the last Moralis admin tab that we were before, and then click on the speedy nodes section. And here there will be a bunch of speedy nodes that you can use in your dApps from Ethereum, BSC, Polygon, Arbitrum, Avalanche, but in this case, we just want to have the Ethereum mainnet and the Rinkeby one. So let's click this one and copy the mainnet and also the Rinkeby. For the Rinkeby, I don't need to copy it because the difference is just that this is slash Rinkeby, and for the mainnet, it's slash mainnet. So let's just copy the mainnet one here. And for the Rinkeby, we're gonna change this to slash Rinkeby. There you go. And then install plugin. So there you go. Just that easy. Just a few clicks. So for now, the plugins probably will not be available yet. It's still gonna be installing in a few minutes, but just hang tight, sit tight, and wait for a few minutes, and we'll come back once the installation process is finished. So once the plugin is installed, now we are ready to do some real coding and integrate the OpenSea plugin into our dApps. So come back again to our React app here. As you can see, this is the app that we want to implement. So firstly, to do that, basically you need to set up your own React project and to and make sure that you install the Moralis library and the React Moralis library in your npm dependency. Make sure they are the latest version. And after you do so, then you can go to the index.js where you can import your Moralis provider from the React Moralis library and then use that Moralis provider to wrap your app component here, which basically encapsulates all the UI and logic of this page, of this app. And then don't forget to include the app ID props and the server URL props in here. And to get the app ID and server URL, just go to the Moralis admin and go to the view details for the server, and there you go. Application ID and the server URL. Just that easy. Copy it, copy both, and paste it in your code just really quickly. So by wrapping our app with the Moralis provider, now we are ready to use all the Moralis functionality within our app. But while we can use everything that is provided by the Moralis SDK, in order to use the Moralis plugin, we also need to initialize the Moralis plugin itself. So in order to do that, just really quickly, import the use Moralis hook from the React Moralis library, and then call it within the app function, app functional component. So then you can destructure the result and get the Moralis object and the isInitialize variable, which basically refers to whether the Moralis object is initialized or not. So once that's done, let's go back to the code just now. Here we're gonna include the initialization for the Moralis plugin in the use effect. And since there are no dependencies here, we're basically the code within this use effect hook are just gonna be called once when the application is loading the first time. So to do that, it's very simple. Just if the Moralis object is initialized, then we want to initialize the plugin. And then just like that, just a few lines. Then now you can use the Moralis plugin, including the OpenSea plugin itself. So once you've done that, as you can see above here, there are some empty functions here, which we're going to implement very quickly after this. And there's get asset, get order, create sell order, and create buy order. Basically, these are the on-click function implementation for each of the buttons in here that you see before. Right now, there's nothing. So when we click it, nothing's going to happen. So yeah, before we fill in some of the logic inside there and use the OpenSea plugin, let's start the React server. So just yarn start. If you want to use npm, that's okay too. So my computer is a bit slow, so it's gonna take a while. So while we're waiting, let's go back to the OpenSea documentations here. Basically, it's the same page where you click the install the plugin page, and when you go down, there are an extensive documentation for the plugin itself. And as you can see here, you can read it by yourself. Oh, my React app is starting out. So let's just go back. So the important thing for the plugin is that you need to remember this, that the plugin only works with two different blockchains for now, which is the Ethereum mainnet and the Ethereum Rinkaby. So in here, it refers it to the mainnet and the testnet. So what does this mean is that in here below, you see the parameter network, and here as well, and you can see there as well. So if you want to use the OpenSea testnet, which exists on the Rinkaby test network, you need to define the network parameter as testnet. Otherwise, if you want to use a production environment such as the Ethereum mainnet, I mean only the Ethereum mainnet, then the network shall be defined as the mainnet itself. So just that simple. And then the support tokens is of course the ERC721 and ERC1155, which is the usual NFT token standard that everyone uses. So just like that, in here, as you can see, in the docs, they already provided really easily the code that we can just copy and paste after this, and from that we shall show how powerful this function is with just one function. What can you get, or what kind of functionality that you can integrate in your dApps. So yeah, let's just go back to our React app here. Seems like the loading hasn't finished yet. Oh, since we want to do some console logging, let's prepare it for now. So let's go to inspect here and open the inspector. And let's choose the console. So maybe we might want to increase the size a bit here. Or maybe it's a bit too big. Let's just use this. I think it's quite readable. So since it's still waiting for the server to start, how about let's just start to implement the get asset functionality with the Moralis plugin really quickly. And it's very, very easy. So in here, we want to get the asset. Basically, using the Moralis plugin, we'll be able to get any NFT asset data that is provided by the OpenSea NFT Marketplace. And here, let's just go back to the documentation. Oh, looks like it's starting out. So let's copy the code here and paste it really quickly. And we want to console log the results. So store it in a rest variable. And below, let's console.log the rest variable. And then in here, let's check the network is testnet. That's right, because we want to use the Rinkaby test network, the OpenSea testnet. And the token address, it's gonna be uh, provided by this React state, which is the values.token address, and the token ID is gonna be values.token ID, and these values are gonna be uh, fetched from these fields, as you can see here. And the reason why I use these fields basically to provide more flexibility so that we don't need to hard code uh, any of the NFT token address and token ID, and we can just change it whenever we want to. So let's do that. Let's click values dot token address, and below here, change to values dot token ID. And let's save it. Gonna take a few moments. Hopefully, it will be much quicker than the load time. Yeah, I need to save it again. Is it working correctly this time? Yes, it seems to be compiling now my code. So to include the get asset functionality in the get asset function for button. So let's just take a brief moment to wait. And when it's loaded, we can test out and check what does it console from the variable. So, okay. Seems like it's loading now. And there you go. So now that the UI is ready, let's just quickly like get the asset then. Check out what we can get from the get asset functionality that provided by the Moralis OpenSea plugin. So here I already prepared an NFT for that. As you can see, it's provided by the CryptoKitties Rinkaby here, but what do we wanna get is the token address and the token ID here below. So just check the contract address here and the token ID. So here we're gonna quickly go to the Rinkaby test Etherscan, and then here the token ID is 4116. So let's just quickly type it here, 4116. And for the contract address, let's copy it really quickly as well from the Etherscan. So copy, paste it, and then boom. Just as easy as that, and you get all the asset information provided by the OpenSea. And as you can see, there's a ton of information about this NFT that is provided by the OpenSea. And with the plugin, you can just do it in a few lines of code with just one function that you can basically copy and paste. So yeah, that's it. And basically, you can use this information, of course, to render some kind of UI to display the information, or maybe you want to store it somewhere else so that you can use it for more complex business logic or anything that you want. And there you go, just as easy as that. And the next one is for the get order. So other than just get all the asset information, we also want to get like the buy order and the sell order of the NFT, of course, because this is an NFT marketplace. So let's just do that really quickly as well. Let's go to documentation and copy this code here, like Moralis plugins.opensea.get orders, and then get to the get order function here and do the pretty much the same as the get asset. We want to store it in a res variable, and then console.log the res. So a bit of typo here. And let's check the field here. It's gonna be testnet. And this one shall be values.token address. This one should be values.token ID. And for the order side, it should be either 0 or 1. and 0 is basically for buy, and 1 is for sell orders. So if you want to get the buy orders, input 0 for the order side, 1 otherwise if you want to sell orders. So just that easy. Let's save it. There you go. Then let's get back to our app here. We might need to wait another moment again for this to wait. There you go. Seems like it's ready. So let's just try it out then. Yep. The get order function. Let's just click it really quickly. And boom. There you go. Seems like we have one order for this CryptoKitties NFT. And let us check again back into the page. And there you go. Here you have listings and offers. Offers is basically the buy orders. Listings is the sell orders. And as you can see, we have one buy order for this NFT. That means, yeah, it is correct. It is basically fetching data. Basically, the Moralis plugin helps you to fetch all this data directly from the OpenSea NFT Marketplace. And with just one function and a few lines of code, you can do this very, very easily. And as you can see here, 0.5 rep ETH seems like the value is in way, so seems correct. And there you go. Just as easy as that, you get this many information that you can use out of the box. But maybe we just don't want to query some data from the marketplace. We probably also want to create some buy order and sell order. After all, this is a marketplace where people want to buy, sell, basically trade NFTs on their own will. So let's implement those functionality really quickly as well. And it'll be very easy, very similar. Let's just copy some code. So first, let's do the create buy order below here. Let's copy the code here. And paste it on the create by order function. And instead of logging the result, we're just gonna log that create by order successful, because basically here we just want to see whether the operation is successful or not, because if it fails, it will throw an error and this line is basically will not be executed. So let's check the field again really quickly. The network is testnet, true. So this one is values.token address. This one shall be values.token ID. And this one for the token type, you need to check it here, guys. As you can see, ERC721. So don't get that wrong. Otherwise, you cannot create the buy order correctly. So ERC721. And the amount here is going to be 0.5 of the payment token address here, which is gonna be wrap ETH. So in here, this is the contract address for wrap ETH, but actually the payment token address could be any ERC20 tokens that you choose. So I'm not gonna change anything here because I'm gonna use wrap ETH for creating the buy order. And for the user address, it's gonna be my address, which I already stored with a variable that I have defined above called web3 account. If we scroll really quickly above here, there you go, web3 account. So just like that, let us save this and try it out. And here, let me show you my MetaMask really quickly to show you the balance of my wrap ETH. Because it's very important to note that when you're creating a buy order, you basically need to have a sufficient balance of your wrap ETH or any ERC20 token that you choose. And in this case, I click on my asset and go below here. And I only have 0.0002 wrap ETH, which is very small, but definitely it's possible to create a buy order as long as it's not 0. But as you can see here, when we compare the value here with 0.5 wrap ETH, it's definitely insufficient. So what we shall expect, at least for this operation now, is that our create by order is gonna prompt an error message in our console log. So let's just do that really quickly. And boom, there you go. See, insufficient balance. You may need to wrap Ether. And this is very important to note because for those who are developing application using this OpenSea plugin, it is probably very important to do some error handling when a user doesn't have enough ERC20 token or even wrap ETH balance, or maybe sometimes it'll be even better if they uh, handle some checking first whether the user's ERC20 token or wrap ETH balance is sufficient or not, then they can run this create by order function. So keep that in mind. So instead of using 0.5, I'm gonna uh, use a smaller number that is sufficient to my balance, which is 0.0001. So there you go. And I'm gonna save it. And this time it should be a successful. And if it's successful, then MetaMask shall prompt a signing order to create the buy order itself. So let's just do that. Let's create the buy order. There you go. There's a MetaMask prompt as expected. We just need to sign because we're not really transferring any tokens here. So no gas fees are going to be included. So just sign. And boom, create buy order successful. Just that easy. And let's check it out again in the OpenSea website. Now it might take a while again because of my computer, but we can check it really quickly with the get order. So before, if you guys remember the get order, there's only one buy side order. Now, since we created another buy order by ourselves, we should expect that there's two buy orders. So let's just do it really quickly. Click it, and there you go. See, there are now two buy orders for this NFT. Just that easy. Like, to create buy order, you don't need to do any complex logic. The Moralis plugin basically provide this functionality out of the box with the create buy order function that they provided directly. So you guys, if you want to create a buy order for any NFT asset within your dApp for your user, you can just use this one function, just a few lines of code, and that's it. Just that easy. And okay, let's go back again to this website, the Testnet OpenSea website, and there you go. You see, 0.001 wrap ETH, and I'm the one that created the buy order. So yeah, seems like it's successful. So then, other than the buy order, let's also do the create sell order. Then it's very similar. Let's just copy the code really quickly, copy it here, and paste it into our code here. Create sell order. And we want to similarly just console log create sell order successful. And then for the sell order, there will be expiration time if you choose a declining Dodge auction. That is basically when the start amount is larger than the end amount here, but we're not going to use that because as you can see, the start amount is equal to the end amount, which is 1 and 1 ETH. So here we can just comment the expiration time for now and check some of the parameters again. The network is testnet. The token address is going to be values.token address. And then here it's going to be values.token token ID and the token type. Remember, guys, input it correctly. ERC721, yes. And the user address is gonna be Web3 account. And that seems correct. So let's just save it and try it out. Now, what should we expect when we click the create sell order button? Should be an error. And you guys must be asking like, why? Well, one thing to note is that when we're creating a sell order is that basically we need to own the NFT that we want to sell, you know? So in here we see it's not our address, you know? So we don't own the this CryptoKitties NFT. So we shall expect that when we click the sell order, it's gonna prompt an error that we don't own this NFT. So let's just do that really quickly. There you go. The given user address does not own token ID of the token address. So yep, seems pretty right. So keep that in mind when we want to create the sell order. We can only do it for any NFT that we own. So luckily, I already prepared an NFT that I deployed by myself into the Rinkeby test network here. And so we can just use this. As you can see, it's owned by me. So let's just use this then to create a sell order. So first, let's copy the contract address. And the token ID is going to be 1. And this is going to be an ERC 1155. So remember that. Here we're going to change it to ERC 1155. And don't forget to save it. And then let's go back to the Rinkeby Etherscan to copy the contract address. Go back to our React app. And then let's change this. And the token ID shall be 1. Just like that. If everything's good, then MetaMask shall prompt us to sign a transaction basically. So just create a sell order here. Just wait for a moment. Seems like it's working this time. There you go. So MetaMask is prompting for us to sign. And let us sign it then. Just that simple. And there you go. The create sell order is successful with just one function. And yeah, just that really, really simple. You just basically need to go to the documentation and copy the code and paste it into your code. And yeah, if we come back here to the OpenSea Testnet page again, hopefully this time we shall see a sell order made by me, by my address. So I think it seems to be working because now there's the current price, as you can see. And for the listings here, there you go. 1 ether, just like we put here, the start amount and end amount is 1. So there you go. Just as easy as that to make a create sell order. And as you can see, to include the OpenSea functionality within your dApp, you can use this Moralis plugin very, very easily, and you can basically integrate it within just a few seconds with one function and a few lines of code. And another thing to note is that while we already tested like get asset, get orders, create sell orders, and create buy orders, there are also other functionalities such as fulfill orders and cancel orders that basically you can implement yourself and try it for yourself in your dApp. It's gonna be basically the same, Just need to copy the code and paste it and change some of the parameters, and you should be good to go. And if you guys still have any questions regarding the OpenSea plugin or the tutorial itself, make sure to go to this forum at forummoralis.io and post your questions there. I'll put the forum link down in the description, and there will help you with your questions as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.